Okay, now what I'd like you guys to do is do problem C and D, and then I want you to pause the video, work on it, and then when you're ready, unpause it, and I'll show you the correct work. Okay, so you should have completed this work, and here would be your correct answer, so please check with your table mates to see if you guys have any questions. We're going to move on to letter E. Now letter E is just another inequality. So we're just going to distribute, first of all, so we get 5x plus 25 is less than 5x plus 17. And I need to isolate the variable, so I'm going to subtract 5x. And when I do that, I get 25 is less than 17. Now, is that a true or a false statement? Hopefully you would identify that as a false statement, right? Because that's never true. 25 is never less than 17. So that means you have no solution. Okay? Now if we go to letter F, negative 8x plus 1 less than or equal to, distribute twice, so negative 8x plus 4. Again, my goal is to isolate the variable, so I'm going to add 8x to both sides. These cancel and I'll left with 1 is less than or equal to 4. Now you're going to ask yourself, is it a true or a false statement? And it's a true statement. 1 is always less than 4. So you're going to write all real numbers. And as we talked about, if I were to graph this, I would shade the entire graph, right? Because any number would work. So if you just want to put 0 there. Now over here, we didn't graph this because there's no answer. There's no shading, no solution that would make that inequality true. So here we would have our answer, and then we box the other one. So take a few minutes, talk with your group to make sure you guys understand that, and then we're going to continue on to example 2 on the back. Now example 2 talks about translating. And it says circle the connecting word and then translate the verbal phrase into an inequality. So we're going to do a few examples together. All real numbers that are less than negative 1 or greater than or equal to 4. And by connecting word, I'm looking for an and or an or. So for A, I see or as my connecting word. So in all real numbers that are less than negative 1, so I'd write x less than negative 1. Here's my connecting word again. Greater than or equal to 4. So then x is greater than or equal to 4. And that would be my inequality. If you go to B, all real numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 3 and less than 5. Now remember, when we have an and sandwich, and we always put my minimum number between x, between my maximum number. So when I look at this, it's greater than or equal to negative 3. So that's going to be my minimum number. And then this number, so this is my minimum. And then less than 5, oops, I need to erase that less than or equal to because it's just less than 5. And that would be my correct compound inequality. So I want you guys to do C and D. And then you're also going to try E, F, and G. And we'll do one of these together. So for E, we'll do F. It says the high temperature in a city last year was 95. The low temperature was negative 5. So would this be an and or an or situation? Are you sandwiching it between the minimum and maximum? And hopefully you say yes. So remember, if we want and, we want min, x, max. So it's sandwiched between those two. And when I look at that, I would recognize that negative 5 degrees is my minimum. And here we have less than x, less than 95. And I would also recognize that it could be negative 5 degrees, so I'm going to do less than or equal to, and it could be less, or it could be 95 degrees as well. So that's why I added the less than or equal to signs. So now what I'd like you to do is do C, D, E, and G with your group. Pause this and then come back when you're done. Okay, you guys can check your answers for C, D, E, and G. And then we'll stop at example 3 and we'll resume that in class the following day. So you guys should have everything completed up until this line in your notes.